Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are diving into something I think we all really need right now, a vital survival and coexistence strategy for the AI age. So much of the conversation around artificial intelligence lately is completely dominated by technological anxiety, right? But today, we're flipping the script. We're going to look at how ancient Eastern philosophy, specifically correlative thinking and the concept of huajiang, or the harmonization of disputes, actually provides the exact empowering framework we need to navigate this new world.
All right, let's quickly check out today's agenda. We'll be going through 1. The illusion of AI empathy. 2. Empathy as survival strategy. 3. Confucian Logos, AI ethics. 4. Resolving AI alienation and Han. 5. Byungjeol, new AI etiquette. And 6. The final line of defense.
Starting with Section 1, the illusion of AI empathy.
Now, I want you to consider a pretty provocative question. If a chatbot says to you, "I'm really sorry you're sad," does it actually mean anything? It's a really crucial distinction for us to make because we have to challenge our assumptions about perfect emotional-sounding machine output versus our true, messy, lived human experience.
And that brings us to our first anchor of correlative thinking, Gonggam, which is empathy. We define it as the capacity for deep emotional immersion in others, true resonance, and the formation of powerful communal bonds. Think about it. Empathy isn't just a reflex where you say it's okay when a friend is having a hard time. It's the ability to truly read the temperature of a relationship, listen fully, and actually connect. That active, resonant connection is something literally only humans can do.
And this brilliantly illustrates the boundary between us and machines. AI can imitate emotional expressions all day long, for sure, but it completely lacks the substantive, physical body required to actually suffer, to feel compassion, or to experience what philosophers call qualia, which is the raw, subjective feeling of an experience. Without that lived, physical reality, machine empathy is just, well, an illusion.
Moving on to Section 2, empathy as survival strategy.
We usually think of empathy as just a soft skill, but historically it has been an absolute economic powerhouse and a profoundly revolutionary force. What's fascinating here is that history proves this isn't just theory. Famous European Enlightenment thinkers, like Leibniz and Voltaire, actually borrowed Eastern concepts of empathy, specifically the Confucian ideas of regarding others as oneself. They literally use this empathetic foundation as a civilizational blueprint to invent the modern concept of universal human rights and topple the divine right of kings. Empathy fundamentally reorganized human society from the ground up.
And notice how the AI era is forcing us to make another huge transition today. We're moving from being isolated rational actors into deeply connected relational beings. As artificial intelligence takes over more and more purely analytical and logical tasks, our human value and labor are going to concentrate heavily on empathy-rich activities, things like care, mediation, and community building. We are rapidly entering an entirely new empathy economy rooted in human connection.
Next up is Section 3, Confucian Logos, AI ethics.
In our chaotic, fast-paced information age, we desperately need a firm ethical framework. This boils down to a really simple but powerful principle from Confucian Logos. X is X, and negative X is negative X. Now, this doesn't mean we just exclude things. It means we don't blur the lines. We need to establish clear, distinct boundaries and roles between humans and AI. A human is a human, and AI is an AI. Calling each entity by its proper role is literally the absolute starting point of respect and societal order.
So, when we apply that strict logic to AI systems, we arrive at the concept of Ren. Ren is the core of humaneness. It's a new relational ethic that basically requires us to put ourselves in the shoes of those affected by biased algorithms. It's about acknowledging inherent differences, whether that's age, race, or gender, but making absolutely sure those differences never turn into unjust discrimination buried deep within an AI's code.
Let's break this down a bit more by comparing Western and Eastern thought. As you can see, there are profound differences and really complementary strengths here between someone like Hegel from the West and Confucius from the East. The West often views the relationship between humans and AI as a sort of contradiction that drives dialectical development. But the Eastern approach reemphasizes that AI can never replace the warm heart and empathetic leadership required to actually guide that development toward true human flourishing.
Let's head into Section 4, Resolving AI Alienation and Han.
We absolutely have to talk about the practical crisis of the people being left behind by this rapid digital transition. Think about platform workers, rural elders, or anyone who just can't keep up with the speed of tech. These excluded groups are experiencing a modern form of Han. This is a uniquely Korean concept for a deep-seated emotional state, where long unresolved injustice, alienation, and longing are all tangled up together. The fact that technological benefits are concentrated in the hands of a very small few is creating a massive, societal Han of tech alienation, and it desperately needs a compassionate solution.
And that solution is Huazheng, the harmonization of disputes. The beauty of Huazheng is that it isn't just theory. It gives us highly actionable policies. It looks like expanding digital education opportunities, setting up intergenerational tech-sharing programs, and building local governance where communities actually choose and use AI together. It's a deliberate, hands-on effort to invite alienated groups to become active participants, fundamentally unwinding that deep-seated Han.
Next is Section 5, Byomjol, New AI Etiquette.
Because we are constantly interacting with and through AI now, we urgently need new everyday manners. This is where Byomjol comes in. It refers to the practical, everyday etiquette and social norms that keep our relationships running smoothly. We basically have to figure these rules out together as a society. For example, do you keep your camera on during a Zoom meeting to show you're present? Is it ethical to submit AI-generated text without citing it? Should you explicitly ask permission before posting a generated photo of someone? These are the new norms we need to maintain our social fabric.
When we actively practice these new etiquettes, like strictly enforcing transparency, verifying our sources, and promising never to use AI to deceive others, we bank what is known as empathy capital. Empathy capital is invisible, but it is an absolutely crucial social asset. It acts as the ultimate glue. It's the only way we can mend the fractures and rebuild the trust that gets shattered by algorithmic biases, toxic echo chambers, and fake videos.
And finally, Section 6, the final line of defense.
To really understand our ultimate defense, consider this developmental journey from Eastern thought. First, a human is born with a physical body that is capable of suffering. That step is called Yongseng. Only because we have that vulnerable physical body can we progress to the second step, Yokdae, which means bathing, putting on the sash of social norms, and actually learning to discern good and evil through lived experience. AI entirely lacks a physical body. Because it completely skips Yongseng, it can never cross the threshold of Yokdae. It can never actually embody true moral responsibility.
This brings us to our absolute core takeaway. Ultimately, the sole and most powerful practical weapon capable of distinguishing and controlling soulless machine algorithms from humans is precisely our capacity to discern good and evil through empathy. Human moral discernment is fundamentally irreplaceable. It is the one thing that keeps us in the driver's seat.
So I want to leave you with a question to really chew on as we wrap up this explainer. What is your core center when making choices in the AI age? Amidst a rapidly shifting world filled with algorithms, deepfakes, and constant change, finding your unshakable values and your true empathic center is the most important developmental task we face as a species. Thank you so much for joining me today to explore this incredible survival strategy.